But the sobering news coming out today that the gentleman who bought the New Orleans Zephyrs in 2016, Lou Schwechheimer, and then moved the team to Wichita after the 2019 season, passed away today due to complications of COVID-19 at the age of 62. Joining us now to talk about that is a gentleman that served as team president of the Zephyrs and also as the legal counsel and continuing to help in that capacity for the team in Wichita, but a New Orleanian through and through. He's trying very hard to get minor league baseball back here. He is Walter Leger Jr. Walter, listen, thanks for the time. I wish it was under different circumstances, but I know that a lot of people want to vilify Lou Schwechheimer, and I understand that because, after all, he did move the team out of here. At the same time, he bought the team. He tried. He just wasn't able to succeed, and now this tragic news today. It's difficult.
Yeah, Ken, thank you for having me on. It is tragic. He was, for whatever people in New Orleans think, he was known in minor league baseball as one of the giants, one of the people that people really thought a lot of. And, yes, he passed away today as a result of exposure to coronavirus. He was only 62 years old.
Yeah, hard to imagine. I know you had been in touch with him. You were still helping him with some issues, and I know you'd spoken to him not too long ago, and it's got to come as a shock. And when you did speak to him last, I think he was just understanding that he had contracted the virus, correct?
Yeah, Lou and I, when Lou bought the controlling interest in the team from Don Beaver in 2016, he asked if I would help in the transition. I did. Stayed on with the Zephyrs as vice president and general counsel under Lou Schwechheimer, and he eventually converted the team into the name that many of us don't like to mention, the Baby Cakes. But Lou was indeed very highly respected in minor league baseball. He had developed what was one of the worst attended franchises in AAA baseball. The Pawtucket Sox, the Paw Sox, which was the AAA team of the Boston Red Sox, into one of the really elite programs there, and then bought this team with the hopes of doing the same. I spoke to Lou regularly. I actually went up early in the spring, actually the end of the winter, I guess, and saw the stadium in near completed form in Wichita. Beautiful stadium. I've seen photographs of it completed. It's an $84 million stadium. Wichita is about, the city of Wichita is about the size of the city of New Orleans. Now, they don't have the large metropolitan area that New Orleans has. They don't have the kind of suburbs of Jefferson Parish, St. Tammany, St. Bernard, and otherwise that we do, but they have no other real competing sports franchises either. I spoke to Lou regularly. He would call, for legal advice and just for general assistance. As you know, Ken, you and Arnie and I and a bunch of other people have been working on trying to bring minor league baseball back to New Orleans, and Lou was very vigorously and unselfishly trying to help us, doing everything he could, connecting us to consultants, to people in minor league baseball and otherwise. So we were speaking regularly. I had not heard from Lou in a while, which was unusual because he would often call me and drive me crazy with his antics and his stories, and I hadn't heard from him, so I gave him a call about 3 weeks or a month ago, and didn't get a call back from him for a couple of days, which was very unusual. Called him again and got him right on, and he was having difficulty speaking. I said, "How are you, Lou?" And, he was like, "Well, I just tested positive for the coronavirus," and he was struggling to speak. He said that several others on the team had it. Jay Miller, the general manager of the Wichita team, who had been the general manager for the New Orleans Zephyrs when we won the World Series. Jay had contracted it, and several other people on the senior staff, and he was really struggling to talk. In fact, it sounded like it was painful. And I said, "Look, Lou, I don't want to make you talk." He was struggling. No, I want, and he was struggling to talk. He always wanted to talk. But I said, "Look, I'm going to let you rest. Let's keep in touch. Let me know how you're doing." And he sounded horrible. He was really struggling to speak. And then actually about a week and a half ago, realizing I hadn't spoken to him in a while, I tried to reach him again, hoping that he had recovered by then, had no return phone call, and then got a call today that Lou had passed away from the coronavirus. So very, very sad news. They obviously had just completed this magnificent stadium. They were totally sold out. Their season tickets sold out in one day. Their advertising was spectacular. It was really kind of a perfect place to put a minor league baseball team, and the city, spent $84 million on the stadium, gave them 24 acres to do other development on. So they were ready to rock and roll, and then the coronavirus, stymied not just their season, but all of baseball and most professional sports, and particularly minor league baseball. And then this news is just a real horrible shocker.
Terribly sad. Visiting with Walter Leger Jr. Walter, on the subject of minor league baseball in New Orleans, anything new, any new movement or anything to discuss? We've had you on previously and talked about the effort that's being made, and I know the virus has been an issue, but right now, is it just a holding pattern because of the uncertainty of minor league baseball and who's governing it, or is it something that continues to be pursued as we speak?
To some degree, it is a holding pattern, Ken, as you know, in the context of minor league baseball and Major League Baseball. Actually we're in a dispute before the virus occurred in terms of the Major League Baseball wanted minor league baseball to eliminate. There's a totally different association of minor league baseball that has a contract with Major League Baseball. All the minor league teams are privately owned, separate, almost all of them are separate from Major League Baseball. And they were renegotiating their contract with Major League Baseball, making a demand to get rid of some of the single A teams in the stadiums that they just didn't approve of. And they were reaching resolution. They were actually, they were in pretty significant dispute and negotiations when the coronavirus shut everything down. You and I, Arnie, and others have been working, however, to put ourselves in a position to be ready. I would say, Ken, that had it not been for the virus, we might be sitting here today on the verge of being able to bring a Double-A team here next year, if not next year, the year after. But that's all on hold because nobody's playing minor league baseball right now. Nobody knows where it's going. Some people think Major League Baseball may actually take control of all the minor league system itself, and then with the hopes of actually leasing out to owners, team owners, particular teams. Every indication we've had is that baseball wants to come back to New Orleans, but everything's up in the air right now. As you know, we've had one of the issues was the stadium itself and where the stadium is headed. Right now it's occupied by the New Orleans Gold rugby team, which is also not playing. And so nobody's playing there, but and the view is we could probably make it a multi-sports facility. We've contacted, at the recommendation of Major League and Minor League Baseball, a stadium consultant who is actually the most respected in baseball, who has actually visited in 2014 and developed a master plan for Zephyr Field. And he's ready to come down here. I've recently obtained approval from the two potential significant major investors in a team to pay for him to come. I'm really actually just waiting for him to give us a fixed amount for how much he wants to charge to come down and view the stadium, make recommendations of what has to be done to meet the 2020 stadium recommendations. But then again, who knows what's going to happen in 2021 and if they're even going to play in 2021. But you're right. Otherwise, I think things are much in a holding pattern, trying to figure out. Major League Baseball is even struggling to figure out what it wants to do. Interestingly, for example, Major League Baseball has determined that with the limited season that they have begun and now partially suspended, they could make enough money simply by television revenues to survive, pay players, and to get something of an abbreviated season in. The minor leagues, on the other hand, doesn't survive on TV revenues. They've got to have people, coming to the stadium and buying popcorn and hot dogs and beer and buying tickets. That's just not going to happen. There's just not going to be minor league games this season. So who knows what the face of baseball will be in 2021. But as you know, Ken, you and Arnie and I are trying to lead a group and there are some very serious investors that are willing to pay what it takes to get a team here, that just want to put us in a position to be ready to receive a team depending on what the format and what the nature of professional baseball will be.
No doubt, and as we speak, I'm watching Major League Baseball. Imagine that. So that's what I do when I have free time. So doing it as we speak, but enjoying it, love baseball, and hope we see it back here sometime in the near future. Walter, listen, thanks so much for the time, and thanks for recollecting Lou Schwechheimer as well.
Thanks. If you don't mind,
stay safe.
Closing thought.
Sure. Sure.
This disease is serious. This has struck, a dear friend that, a lot of people were mad at Lou for naming the team and then for leaving. Good man, highly respected, healthy, 62-year-old guy. The disease is serious. I'll just ask people, please wear a mask. Do social distancing. This is going to be with us for a while, and we need to take it very seriously. Listen to the scientists, not the politicians, and let's beat this thing. So.
Yep, everybody needs to be smart and be diligent. No question. Walter, thanks again, and we'll talk again soon.
Ken.
You got it, buddy.